After a slight detour to the deeps, the underground realm of the Sanguine, where they made a deal with Vale to install him as the god and steward of the dead after they used the Heart of the Void. The party continued on their quest toward the crown of Aegedon, this time bolstered by Vale's own power and guided by one of his lieutenants, a young Sanguine named Corioden Heximiria. She leads the group for a good ways through these dark and winding tunnels until finally you come back up to the surface world, and it seems to be, strangely, sunset, twilight almost, as if you're simply caught right at the cusp of night, but the day has not yet ended. Mortal and immortal armies march across Aegedon. The powers of the ethereals and the void spill onto the mortal plane in destructive storms that purge the land, and entire countrysides are laid to waste by crackling rifts that reshape the land into a primordial chaos. As you continue your slow trek to the center of the fell, first a week goes by, then a second, without a single night. The great light in the sky has not shifted past that first unsettling sunset for 2 whole weeks now, while a million angry stars clash at the opposite end of the firmament. Truly, as that sanguine Quel Shalas told you, this is the end of the world, and you're right smack dab in the middle of it.
Roughly how much longer do we have to go until we reach the crown, and roughly where geographically are we, if that's relevant?
You don't quite know the answer to the first question. There's too many variables, really, that might upset your journey. But right now, you find yourselves kind of in the central western part of the Fell Kingdom, on the human side of the Fell. Not too far away, honestly, as Val is recollecting on this quote-unquote morning. But not too far of a journey south of here is where Katasandra's estate would have been, right on the border of Tayla.
And we've passed these 2 weeks, undisturbed, roughly?
Mostly, yes. You've seen these inklings, these hints of larger conflicts in the distance. You've seen strange auroras streak across the sky, and you've seen lightning crack open the firmament and then it seal back together. You've seen strange beings flood down mountainsides and fires rage over canopies, but you yourselves have not been embroiled in any sort of meaningful conflict. And the quiet, though I wouldn't call it peace, has been more unsettling than restful. Luna especially barely sleeps. In fact, probably the only one out of your group that gets a full night's rest every cycle is the sanguine Corio, who, apart from being your guide, has kept mostly to herself, only participating in scant conversation and staying at arm's length.
So, Coriella, tell us, how did you come to be in the service of the Master?
I'm sorry, what did you call me?
Coriella?
Corio.
Oh, dude, I did not get that. I cannot hear.
But to you, you may call me Corioden Heximiria.
Oh, pish posh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Anyways, the question still remains.
What question was that?
The question was, how did you come to be in service of the Master? Vale, as we know him.
Well, it was some weeks ago when all of the colonies in the Great Deep declared for one host or another. My clan sided with Vale's host. It is as simple as that. Made our blood oaths, and here we are. Some declared for Egg. Some for, I believe, your own cause, as Sadie's Ur is a part of your head. And fewer still, I believe, for Air. Though Vale holds great sway over the Sanguine people. He is the father of our governing virtues.
Did Vale offer anything to those who allied themselves with him?
No, not especially. It was simply a question of faith.
And you, in particular, seem to have an interest, or have at least expressed interest, in our cause. I get the feeling that, although your clan has sided wholeheartedly with Vale, there at least lies a curiosity in you, is that not true?
I will admit to that, yes. You yourself particularly intrigue me as the godborn of Sadie's Ore, but still, the lot of you are avatars for ethereals, and the flesh and blood of one, she says, kind of indicating back along the procession to where Luna walks.
We've traveled a long road to get here, one that has been intertwined with Vale's dealings, it seems, at every turn, but I don't know which path will lead to the greatest happiness for any people in the long run. That is truly our goal here, and he just kind of points vaguely in the direction of the crown of Aegedon. As we're going on this whole journey to use, and he just motions back to Val, whatever it is that we're carrying, truly we do hope to create a better world, but the details of that, I don't think any of us are entirely still certain on.
Perhaps not. But you have hope, as you have said, and you have faith. And those can sometimes be enough. As for you, she looks at Mick and just kind of gives a, you may call me Corio, simply.
Well, thank you, Corio.
I will admit, for these past 2 weeks, I have kept myself at a distance from you. I did not know exactly if I could trust you or not, but I know that you cannot betray me lest you die, so I guess that is reason enough to trust you. Perhaps tonight, when we make camp, I will actually join you around the fire.
You would be welcome.
She looks over her shoulder at Val and gives you a curt smile.
Have you ventured outside of the underground caverns much?
The deeps? No, I have not. Many sanguine do not leave the deep realms, ever. Some go on expeditions, others on journeys of trade or fortune finding. But my clan was sequestered deep inside one of the colonies. Interesting that until now I have never seen the light of day, and I'd always wished to see the moon, but I fear it is... Well, if it hasn't come up these past 2 weeks, I don't think it will come up tonight either.
No, I don't think so. To be honest, although we've watched it for 2 weeks, it's still unsettling, Relander says, looking at the sky and the sun on the horizon on one end, the stars on the other. Although we have known intellectually what we were getting ourselves into from the start, it still is weighing, and I think fully I'm coming to realize what this actually means, what we're doing. The end of a world is not a light thing.
I will say this, and Corio stops and turns around and waits as everyone kind of shuffles up and coalesces around her. I have kept us on a safe road for these last little while, but that is quickly coming to an end now. If we are to press forward, we will move across the northern coast of the Sea of Aegedon, and from there we will make it to the very base of the crown of Aegedon, and then we begin our ascent. But from here to there, I fear there will be much fighting. The sea is, at the very least, a strategic asset, and as I said, I've kept us away from the prying eyes of the armies that march and fight around these plains and such. Thus far, at least.
And we are extremely thankful for your guidance. I would ask, though, we talked with an old past friend of ours as we began our journey to the Crown of Aegedon, and they mentioned, aside from armies and forces of mortals and immortals, there is something deeper that also fights, the forces of the very nature of Aegedon. Would we face any of these powers as we journey along the sea, do you think?
Along the coast, I do not think so. But once we reach the mountain itself, there is no telling what ancient powers gave rise to it. I'm sure still watch over it. Where this friend you speak of, who was this?
His name is Natsuniro, a drake of the mountain.
That is quite a powerful friend to have.
Well, I wouldn't say we're necessarily on friendly terms now.
No. I imagine, seeing as we are walking, you are not.
Yes, it was quite graceful of him to leave us without striking us down, although he did mention if we were to see him again, the outcome will likely be different.
Well, if I hear the great beating of wings on the horizon, I will be sure to let you all know.
And Lander just chuckles and is kind of motioning now to the road as they've all kind of stopped here. Shall we continue then?
Corio gives a slight frown and nod of her head and carries onward.
What's kind of the terrain that we're walking through? Is it just like war-torn fields or forests?
For the last little bit, it's been hilly. Some forests, both in the near and far distance, but scant. You haven't seen much devastation, honestly, since leaving the Deep Realms.
Okay.
As we keep going on our little journey here, Vamok, not addressing anybody in specific, just kind of the whole group.
I have a question. Anyone may answer this. What exactly is our intention? What is the plan? Randir mentioned that we would figure it out when we get there. This may be the best time to figure it out. In my estimation, it would be folly to include gods. I thought at one point that if we could find a suitable candidate, that they could preside over whatever world we create. But in light of recent events, I do not think that would be wise. I am curious to know what each of your intentions are. I do not believe that I will be the one entrusted to use the Heart of the Void, so it is ultimately of little consequence what I think.
No, Vamok. Tell us, what would you do with the Heart of the Void?
Yes, though you may perhaps not be the one to use it. Your input is as valuable as any of ours.
Before I say that, Corio, the terms of our contract with Vale cannot be altered at this point, can they?
It is outside of my domain to say, but I would expect no.
If it were up to me, I would dispense with the gods. No more gods. No structure to hold up. From my understanding, intent is a function of the ethereals working in their positions. Hence, when they fought amongst themselves, we no longer have access to the usual well of intent. There is something else that the Krayli practice, so it would not get rid of magic altogether, but perhaps it would let things settle, and we could just leave it be. We could reset things. I do not think it would be good to get rid of all of the inhabitants of Aegedon. But if we do nothing, it is likely the war between the kin and the humans would continue. There is too much bad blood. After being at war for many centuries, I do not think either side will let the conflict go so easily. So if there is to be peace, there would need to be some sort of intervention. What form that would take, I do not know. And as for our contract with Vale, we would grant unto him being the god of the dead, but I would trap him in the gemstone that he provided to us, such that he could not leave. He would be able to perform everything that he wished to do, but it would limit his power, and the only way for him to escape would be to let go of his godhood.
I'm sorry, you would plan to do what?
I would trap Vale. I do not trust him as far as I could throw him.
I did hear you, but perhaps a better stated question is, how?
It is theoretically possible.
It is the intended use of this gemstone, and
Vamok will pull out the gemstone that was provided by Vale.
He gave you a corner store amethyst.
Good enough.
Oh, man.
Or equivalent.
Thanks, Vale. Vale's Crystal Shop.
It is not so different from the shackles that were placed on Luna. It might have escaped your notice, but they were crystalline in structure. In theory, the same could be applied, trapping Vale or any of the other ethereals within a similar crystal, and I assume that it would be a simple enough matter if we were using the Heart of the Void to do it, but it would bind whatever it traps. Like I said, I do not trust Vale, and I'm sure Corio will relay all of this information to him. But It would be a way to prevent them from scheming too much.
I will say, although my initial inclination is to agree with you in that intention to bind him in a more controlled state, I hesitate. I think that it would, in the long run, because we do hope and intend for whatever world comes after this to last millennia, I feel it would harbor nothing but further scheming and ill will from him towards us, whatever powers are at that point, all mortals at that, and then this item becomes something that can be found, destroyed. I think it best to rely upon the bounds of our contract. Let him have whatever fun he needs to have, enjoy his freedom as he has it, and that's that.
Very well. As I said, I am doubtful that I will be the one to usher in any new world using the Heart of the Void. But I simply present it as an option.
Worth consideration, for sure. I do think there is one specific item we need to address before going on to any other more abstract topics, and that is the matter of what judgment comes to those who pass on. Val mentioned he does not care what form or shape this takes, of who assigns the term length for those who will go into his care as he ferries them from the land of the living to whatever comes next, but I think we need to ensure that it is impartial and just. But then again, that breeds itself into the world of gods and those who make judgments.
Perhaps, Luna says, looking about, getting a bit of a shiver. That's something we can all discuss after we maybe make a fire and set out bedrolls and, I don't know, get something to eat. I know it's the same day as it was 8 hours ago, but I'm starting to feel the walk a bit.
Yes, of course. I'm starting to feel it as well, and Rolander's gonna kind of veer off a little bit from the path, or at least turn his look towards the side to start finding a suitable spot to make camp.
I can look, Corio says, for a small cave or such, if that is something you are all interested in. Perhaps finding somewhere where the light is not so invasive.
If you could.
I will try my best. And she jogs off into the woods to the north.
It would have been good to know that before I laid out all my plans.
Rolandir actually, as Corio starts to jog off, he says, one minute, may I join you?
I have no quarrel.
And Rolandir's gonna join Corio as she runs off.
Luna looks at Vamok, Brynir, Mick, and Val and says, well, should we, I don't know, try to scavenge some wood and such? Maybe find some berries or game?
Before we do that, if there's anything we have to say, not under leering eyes of Vale, I suggest we say it now while Corio is gone.
I have nothing of the sort.
Vamok, it seemed that you did.
I have no opinions that would do any harm if Vale knew them. Although, what exactly is, or perhaps was, the nature of your relationship with Vale? You seemed quite chummy.
I'm sorry, have you not been here for the last several months? You know exactly why I'm chummy. He's a very charming man. Nothing beyond that.
And that is what concerns me, Mick. It concerns me that you... How do I put this in a way? I will simply say it. It concerns me that you continually fall for his tricks. It is with the coin as
wait
with...
right there. I had no idea that Vale was the one talking through Lucky, through the coin.
That is not my point. My point is you seem enamored with this being, and that could come at our detriment, the detriment of the group. Surely Vale is planning something. I do not know what, but I don't trust him.
Let me make something perfectly clear here, Vamok. I didn't hear you when we were speaking to Vale about our agreement, disagreeing with him, whereas I was. I think that you're perceiving things incorrectly. I have my head on straight, and although I entertain his charming demeanor, and I do enjoy some things that Vale has to offer to the table, do not think that I'm none the wiser.
Val, do you want to go look for some berries or such?
Okay, yeah, Val and Luna take off.
Vamok, I think I've explained myself, but rest assured, when it comes down to siding with the group and our pursuits versus Vale's, every time without fail, I will choose ours over his. Does that bring comfort to you?
Mick, I am not trying to reprimand you. Allow me to make myself clear. I think that you have a good heart, but I also think that you are foolish, and I think that can be taken advantage of. I do not think that you would knowingly or willingly do things against the group, but I know that I have no room to talk as one who was heavily influenced. I am simply saying, be cautious that the same does not happen to you.
Vermak, I appreciate what you're saying, but I feel a little targeted if I'm being honest. I don't think I'm the most foolish in this group, and I don't think I've made the most foolish decisions. Yes, I understand that I could be easily persuaded at times, such as with the coin. That won't happen again, I can assure you that. Is that what you're worried about, Vermak? I feel that this is coming out of nowhere, besides that incident, which I think ended quite smashingly. For us, at least.
It is not my intention to make you feel targeted. I have my own reservations and worries about every member of the group. But from my observation, it seems that the best tack to take with you is to be as straightforward as possible, because I am not as quick-witted or as sharp-witted as someone like yourself. I am not a fast talker, so I find it best to be direct, lest my meaning be misunderstood. I am finished now. I will not bring this up any further. If you give me your word that you will be careful, I will trust that.
You have my word.
A little ways north, in the woods, as their feet crunch over dried and charred leaves, Corio and Rolandir look for a rocky cave or outcropping to make camp. At least something to shade them from the eternal sunset here, the twilight, as it were. Corio stops at the crest of a small hill, hand outstretched on a tree, and then jogs down the other side, heading toward what looks to be a larger formation in the near distance. And she says, calling over her shoulder at Rolandir, I think perhaps that might serve well. We should check it out first, make sure the surroundings are safe and so.
Yes, and just doing a quick once around, kind of checking the other surrounding perimeter. I think that's probably our best bet for now. Lead the way, I'll be short behind.
You walk a few steps behind her, and it'll take a couple minutes to get over there. There's no rush right now. She glances back and says, Tell me, I have a question for you, if you'll entertain me.
Of course. Honestly, I tagged along mainly because I would like to speak perhaps more one-on-one with you. I sense you weren't, as you mentioned, entirely comfortable with the group as a whole, but hopefully that can change as time goes on, and if you have any questions, honestly, we are here to answer them, and we hope to ask you questions in turn.
No, it is true. I've been keeping my distance, as I have said. Not because I am wary of you, but rather that I am wary of what my master would do to me if he should find me out of line in any way, shape, or form. Truth be told, I wish to interact with you all more. I wish to talk with the Mazkin and the Elveret and the humans, and yourself, part Sanguine, the steward, the avatar of Sadie's Ur. You are the, mortal embodiment of the god that I worshipped as a child. It is strange to be in your presence and to talk to you as I would a friend or family member.
Believe me, there's enough distance between me and Sindor himself to have any sort of feeling as if you should be, how to put it, at a disadvantage in front of me. If anything, I'm the one who can't seem to find my footing around you or the other Sanguine. We haven't seen any of your kind on our travels.
No, I would not imagine you have. Though I will ask, why do you insist on using the low tongue when referring to his name? Even in Felish, I would still give him the reverence he deserves as Sadie Zur.
Call it force of habit, perhaps. Sindor is as I came to know him, and Sindor is as he is referenced by the other ethereals. And when we were in his presence not too far ago, that is as I addressed him there, and he didn't seem to take any slight to it.
I imagine perhaps that your experience was tailored to, well, your reality and your understanding. Should I come face to face with Sadie's Ur and, Ethereals forbid, any other of them, I imagine they would call each other by the names of my speech.
Perhaps. I do have to wonder, though, for someone who is clearly fully aware and has an understanding of their position as you are now to Vale, a slave, essentially, why would you choose such a thing?
I would not call myself a slave. It is a duty to my family and my blood. In sanguine culture, blood is more than just the life that courses through your body. It is your family. It is your friends, the ones that you care about, the ones that you love. Blood forms those bonds in every way, shape, and form. And for a sanguine, an agreement made in blood is one that is not so easily overturned. In fact, as you have seen now for yourself, there are precious few ways in which one can make such an agreement and come out the other end unscathed, should the stipulations not be met.
Yes, it is true. A question. What made you, and now that you have explained this, perhaps your kin around you change or shift from Sadie's Ur to Vale?
There was really no shift. Sadie's Ur is the soul giver of the sanguine. And yes, one, if not the most important of the governing virtues, but it is Vael who serves as the father and head of the body, and it is the head that directs the body. Do you understand this?
Understand, but perhaps disagree.
I do not understand how you can disagree. It is not a matter of opinion, it is simply fact. Vael is the beating heart of the sanguine in our culture. We are but arms, legs, feet, fingers and toes, if you will. Appendages. Tools to be used for the purposes that they see fit. It is not that I have no free will to exercise, I do, but it is in these goals, their goals, that I find the nobility of my free will expressed to its fullest potential.
And perhaps I see that the soul, as you say, or Sadie's Ur to be the soul giver, that is truly the highest form of direction. This body, all of its corporeal appendages will eventually fade, but the soul is what lives on.
Perhaps, but there are those within the sanguine culture who do not believe such things. I am one of them. When we pass away, we are gone. Our blood is what gives us our being. Your blood is what gives you your thoughts, your personality, your drive, the things that make you you, and the things that make you desire and want the things that you want and desire. It is what fuels ambition. It is what comforts sadness. It is what brings lovers together and creates life to carry on in the world. New blood, new bodies. And past that, we are nothing. Souls, yes, we possess them. But the sanguine, at least in my persuasion, view them as a unified being. There is no soul outside the body, just as there is no body outside the soul. Should one expire, both will die. For there are ways to kill one's soul without killing one's body.
Well, let's hope then, for your sake, that you're at least right in the part that nothing happens after death, because then Vale will be very, very unhappy with his end of the deal.
That we will see. And you get the feeling that she can't say exactly what she wants, because she knows Vale can hear her, but she just gives you a smile and then cocks her head toward the rocky formation in the distance and says, "We should carry on. It should be good enough and we can report back in just a moment."
Yes.
And she continues tromping off toward it.
And he follows.
Back south of the road, in a different forest, just at its edge, a ways away from Vamak and Brynir and Mick, Luna goes over to a tree and just puts her back against it and slides down to the ground and gives out a huff and kind of hangs her head between her legs.
Val will go and sit in front of her.
She won't say anything or really move. She's just got like her hands on top of her knees and her head just hanging beneath them, kind of swaying like she's not really paying attention to anything.
I think he'll let her sit for a moment. and then put both of his hands on hers.
She'll give a big sniff and kind of a snort, and then pull her head up, and her face is kind of red. And she looks at you, and she's just, it's a lot, Val.
It is, yeah.
All this talking about the heart and who'll do what and what's going to happen after, and even with Vale's promises, I'm not sure we can even reach it, and I don't have the guts to say it to anyone but you.
It is a risk. One that, at this point, I know this is the sunk cost fallacy, which I always go around in circles on, but now I do think it is too late to turn back.
I've just looked at the same Vale-forsaken sunset for the past 2 weeks, and I can't stand another day of this, just another day of trudging and resting and eating and sleeping and trudging and... not that I'm craving action or battle or anything of that sort, it's just... I just wish it were over already.
Well, if we feel like killing a Valor, I could teleport us somewhere.
I guess we could. I guess I could. But even then, I know I could use intent more than the rest of you are able to, but still it'd be like setting up a flare to egg, and whatever peace, if you can even use the word, we've experienced these past 2 weeks will be shattered in an instant. And I'd rather just let it go on as long as it can.
It is eerie, though.
Eerie, yes. But at the same time, there's a sort of, I don't know, comfort in the melancholy?
It is strange to be so outside of conflicts that we are trying to resolve. I think this way even about, I don't know, the war between humans and kin. It is something that I'd set out to stop, but had never experienced, personally. What do I know of war? Did I know of war?
I feel as if we are caught in some great river, rapids of a sort, and we wish to turn it one way or another. But we look around, we look at ourselves in the reflection of those deep, dark waters, and we just see a mote of dust. And there's a strange comfort I'm realizing now in these weeks as we've been walking that there's a fixed end to this. We're going toward a most certain fate, one way or another. We reach the peak or we die. There is no in-between. There's no squirming or talking or any bargaining out of it. And for some reason, that's peaceful to me. It's peaceful to know that I'm just lost in this river, and no matter what I do or say, there's no changing where it goes. I don't know why I like that.
No, I understand. Ultimately, in the long and short of it, we are insignificant. And it doesn't matter if we matter or if we change the world. It's going to change. With or without us.
She squeezes your hands and just gives a sad smile. It's like, well, you matter.
To you, I hope.
Of course. I think once this is all over, I actually don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was going to say. I try to picture what comes after and I can't. It's just unfathomable. I don't know what will happen, and I don't think I have a say in it. And that actually scares me. Because I would like to still be around, and I would like, well, if you were still around too. And even if I weren't, or you weren't,
Val is going to kiss her so that she stops talking.
She'll blubber on for another half a second before she'll return it and quiet down. And then, after a long moment, she'll pull away and just sigh and say, when everything is said and done, though we're pebbles in a river, I'll make sure that enough of them come together, that when someone wades in the far, far future, they'll look down and see a little mound or something, and they'll remember you. And all of it. I think, out of everyone, Val, you deserve that.
I love you, Luna.
She blanches, and her mouth opens and then closes, And then you just see like these tears well up in her eyes, and she kind of gives this half giggle, and she lets go of your hands, which are just like pale white when she does. And she's like,
Holding them real tight.
and she's like, I love you too, Val.
He'll kiss her again.
Luna doesn't break away this time, and she'll just push you forward and kind of roll in the leaves a bit. And
This girl doesn't have energy or time to do anything else, but she could do this.
My feet hurt. That's code.
Hey Val, you wanna come with me and get some berries?
My feet hurt.
as Luna and Val kiss for a moment, and then Luna will again pull away and just lie in the grass and the leaves next to Val. She'll kind of hold back a sob, and then she'll say, "They are gonna be mad if we come back empty-handed." So, should probably find something to eat.
Okay.
As Val and Luna come back a short time later, likewise, Corio and Rolandia return from their scouting and reveal that there is a sizable outcropping that they can huddle under for the night. The party makes their way there, crafts a fire, and settles down for another unsettling night in the end of Aegedon.